is Rich, Jesse Homestead. How the heck are you today? Me, I'm good. Good. Yeah. I'm noticing all the junk in the news. That's not good. Gonna start getting back to the stuff for the new homesteaders to try to help you guys out a little bit. This would be a good place to stick in some comments if you had some questions about whatever you have questions about. Yeah. Because it's going to be important for a lot of you folks that are just getting into homesteading to get up and running as quick as you can. Okay. With the crazy situation with our food sources, with all that's going on out in the world, it could get a little nuts. It really could. So the faster you can get up into production, the faster you've stabilized an income, better off your family's going to be. And so that's where I'm going to start really putting most of the focus. Our food chain's not real stable right now. We've got too many of the big players playing, literally, especially in meat and poultry. You have grain prices are not as bad as they were, but they're looking at the futures. It doesn't look real hot for what's going to happen next year. Of course, this far in where stuff just went into the ground, it's hard to say. I've seen some row crops that are already looking pretty pathetic. Okay, we had some corn coming up and caught frost. Just tore the heck out of the leaves, but they should recover from that. But yeah, it's been crazy weather with this solar activity and so forth that we're into. Everybody's on the learning curve. What used to work may not work. You know, some things that used to work way back when and didn't work currently may going back to the way back when series. On this one here, you need to start concentrating on the utilization of your land. If you're looking to just raise enough meat on your homestead for, let's say, you and your family, well, you're only going to need a few head out there, tops. Dexter would be a good breed for you. Some small framed cattle. It's going to require you to utilize less acreage on your land, but you'd be able to get, the meat you need out of it. The smaller frame breeds do not produce as much meat as the large frame animals do, but, for just feeding the family, they do just fine. Okay, so there'd be some options for you. If you're looking at having milk for your family and things of this nature, I'm preferential to Jerseys, okay, because the quality of the milk. But there's other breeds out there that have some very good quality milk, so you might want to look into those too. But yeah, it's pretty important to really sit and look at what your needs are. If you're not wanting to be, into a cow-calf or things of this nature, and just looking to raise enough meat to keep you guys fed, then that's going to allow you to utilize more of your land for growing produce, things of this nature. Because in today's changing environment, it's becoming more and more challenged to get your gardens up and doing well. So, without using a bunch of chemicals, which you don't want to be feeding your family, right? Really step back and kind of look at your land and the layout of it and go, okay, if I go with a smaller breed cow, I only need X number of acres, and, check with your county extensions. They can pretty much tell you what the going average is for your particular county. That's the reason I don't want to throw a number out there right now, because that's for here, okay? Where you're at, maybe an entirely different game, okay? So, and be careful of that. If you're talking to some guy up in Wyoming who says, yeah, I got to have 30 acres ahead, Okay, you're thinking, I can't afford 30 acres. But understand, that's up there. If you're in a place like Tennessee or Missouri, something like that, you don't need that kind of acreage. All right? You grow a lot of grass every year. So, talk to your local extensions. And that is a good thing to do even when you're looking at property. 9 times out of 10, that county extension reps probably know that farm. Okay? And to the extent they may know the farmer that's got it now and the fellow that had it before them and what they were doing. Give you a little heads up on maybe a potential problem you could be having. Things of this nature. So they're a good place to start even when you're shopping for a homestead. If you're not experienced in agriculture, get with somebody that can take a look at the land with you, because they know what it's going to require to do certain things. You may be looking at these beautiful rolling hills that are just lovely, and somebody experienced in agriculture say, well, most you can use this for is pasture because, you'd have to terrace and do all sorts of stuff to put in any kind of crop. And if you were planning on raising your own gardens and stuff of this nature, it could create a problem for you. Or you'd have to be making additional investments. Always check with somebody. It usually doesn't, usually you can find somebody that is in agriculture. If not, I've got a consulting company. There's consulting companies all over the country who can come and take a quick look at it, and they don't charge very much for that. They'll go out and walk the property with you and kind of give you some ideas. So, now if you're looking at all the infrastructure and wanting them to figure that all out for you, it can turn into a little bit of a bill. But just to go out and take a look and say, what would you use this land for and why? I'm not going to charge you much for that. So do that sort of stuff. Get good advice on your land. Involve the county extension right at the jump on the thing. Okay? Plus, he could probably tell you some people who, Mr. Jones up the road here has got a real nice little place, and I know he's been talking about wanting to retire. Let me give him a call. Probably not even on the market, but he's going to know about it. You know what I'm saying? So, do that. Utilize that county extension service. They're a big aid to you. I always like to say they're totally sponsored usually by Monsanto. So when they start slinging around, use this particular herbicide on this and this particular herbicide on that, and kind of take that with a grain of salt. Okay, there's other ways to take care of things. A lot of times you'll hear them talk about, throw this particular chemical down to take care of this particular weed. If you go out and take a look at the weed, usually all of a sudden you find out, well, wait a minute, that means I got a real low pH and very low nutrients in the soil because that weed's present. All right. So the first thing I need to do is change the pH in my soil and get compost and so forth and get this fertilization up and running without herbicides. Okay. Because basically what he's doing is putting a Band-Aid on the problem. All right. If you just slap a Band-Aid on there and next year, it's just going to keep coming back at you. It's just going to keep coming. So weeds are, if you look at it this way, weeds is what Mother Nature likes to throw on soil that is damaged. Okay? And by the type of weed that's on that soil, you can figure out what damage is done here. Okay? Gives you a basic rule of thumb. Here's what it is. So even when you're looking at a property, if you're looking at 4 or 5 places, take some pictures out there of the weeds. If you don't know exactly what they are, take some pictures of it, track it down. Find out what soil that weed grows best in. That's probably where that soil's at. If you look around, you got a bunch of it out there. Okay? Then you have some idea of your foundation, you might say, of what you're going to be doing. Weeds is Mother Nature's soil test, you might say. She puts on weeds that fit that soil, and by you knowing what that weed is looking for, you can know what your soil's like. You go, okay, I know how to fix this, you know. And get pH up, we'll get some compost on it, yada, 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 and these weeds will go away. Start throwing herbicide down, that stuff stays with you for years. And it's not good, you know, the food you plant in, it's not good for you or for your animals. That's my advice for the day, okay? Utilize that county extension agent. A lot of times, like I said, if you're looking in an area, talk to the man. He may know of somebody who he just talked with a week or so ago who's saying, I'm wanting to retire. If I could get the place sold, you'd be the first in line. Think about that one. Alrighty, I'm going to let this run long. You guys have a great week, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Take care.